Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are going to focus on a solstice practice tonight in honor of the solstice that we had just yesterday. So that kind of wonderful polarity of light and dark that we experience. That's kind of the theme of solstice, right? It's the shortest day of the year and the longest night. And so there are these kind of extremes of light and dark. And the light and the dark also reflect the yin and the yang. And in our practice, we can kind of explore those two extremes. And that's sort of what I was planning on tonight, but really focusing on getting grounded. It's the time of year when there's a lot of busyness and a lot of excitement and a lot of build up to holiday parties and get-togethers and things like that. So maybe a really good time to kind of ground ourselves and get kind of centered and remind ourselves that this is always a place that we can come back to. So we'll begin with some breath work. I invite you to find a comfortable seat, anything that feels right to you and kind of natural, organic. I'm in a little bit of a half lotus and that just feels organic to me, but whatever shape you take, just take a moment to kind of get into it. So let your sit bones really root down and find your spine and allow it to elongate, get nice and tall. And then just begin to kind of relax around the shape of your spine. So you want to be present, you want your spine to be alert, but you don't want to be stiff or rigid. So ask your body to kind of loosen its grip a little bit and ask your mind to do the same. And we'll begin right into the breath work, Nadi Shodhana, our alternate nostril breathing. And we'll use this as kind of our grounding, almost meditation like practice. So we'll take our right hand and bring it in front of our face. And we're going to be using our thumb and our ring finger as the two valves to open and close the left and right nostril. So I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with this, but if you need a little refresher, the middle two fingers can either rest on your forehead or you can tuck into your palm if you'd like, whatever feels comfortable. I like mine to kind of rest up by my forehead. And we'll just hover the hand over our face and take a deep breath in. So deep into the belly, through the nose, let the belly and the ribs and the back body expand. And just take an open mouth exhale and let all the breath out, emptying yourself completely. Let's do that again. One more deep inhale, taking a full breath in, dropping that breath all the way down. And then an open mouth exhale to cleanse yourself. Let all that stale breath out. Now we'll close off the right nostril with the thumb and inhale through the left side, drawing that breath all the way up, holding it at the top. And then on the exhale, close that left side and exhale out through the right. So lifting that thumb off and sending your breath out the right nostril. We're going to breathe in here once again, filling up, taking that breath all the way to the top. And once you're at the top, close the right side off and exhale through the left, pressing the breath out through the nose. So your lips are closed here. And then inhale through the left side, drawing a deep breath in, feel the expansion. Holding it at the top, closing it off with the ring finger and exhaling it out through the right side, releasing the thumb, pressing the breath all the way out until you feel empty. And then inhaling again on this side, drawing the breath all the way up and holding at the top, taking the thumb to the nostril and exhaling out through the left. Empty, empty, empty. One more round. Let's inhale here, left side. Pull the breath up and hold it at the top when you feel full. And then closing off the left side, exhale out through the right. Let's do one more. Inhale here. Hold at the top. Close off with the thumb, exhale left. And release. Bring your hand down to your thigh. Go ahead and keep the eyes closed and just take a few rounds of breath in and out through your nose right here. Notice if you don't feel your nostril channels and your breath passages more open and more clear. This particular form of breath work helps to promote a sense of relaxation and balance out our left and our right sides. Those left and right sides reflect the lunar and the solar qualities that we hold within the body, kind of like a metaphor for the solstice, right? The light and the dark. Good, and then just maintaining a nice even breath, let's go ahead and ease the eyes open. Now readjust your seat if you need to. Just be aware of which shin is in front, because we're gonna go ahead and switch at some point. But just pay attention whichever shin is in front. And walk your fingertips out away from your hips. Plug them into the ground and lift the spine a little bit taller. Just feel your navel draw towards the spine, lengthening the sideways. Rooting through your sit bones, reaching up through the crown of the head. Feel connected to the earth through the fingertips, grounding through the sit bones. And then we'll reach the right arm all the way up. And on an exhale, lean off to the left. You can bend into that left elbow if you would like. Be aware of that right hip wanting to pop up. Can you press it down and reach out of it? All the way out through the right fingertips. Bring a good stretch into the side body, opening up the rib cage. Good, and as you inhale, rise on up, take that right hand back behind you, swing your left hand across and hook it outside that right thigh. Breathe in to lengthen your spine, lift up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, let's twist to the right. Rolling the rib cage around, opening up the shoulders, keeping your chin as parallel to the floor as you can, and spinning it around, looking back past your right shoulder. As you breathe in, lift up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, find some depth in your twists. Now release your right hand from behind you and lean out and over your left knee and thigh. Taking this side stretch now a little bit more into the low back on that right side. Breathe and look up and underneath your right armpit. Gazing up. Deep breath in. On the exhale, go ahead and rise up and cross your right arm all the way across your chest. You're going to hook your left elbow underneath it and pull the arm to straight and across the chest, as close to your body as you can, and breathe into the sensation that you're feeling in your right shoulder. I know this is intense for me in a good way. I know that something needs to be stretched here. Try to sit up tall, maintain your breath, breathe into it. Awesome. And then we'll go ahead and release the hands to the kneecaps. And take a breath in as you pull your heart forward, extending through the spine, lifting the sternum, lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, we're going to round and curl back, finding our seated cow and cat. Inhale takes you forward. Let the shoulders drop onto the back as you lift your heart. Open your throat. On the exhale, tuck, round, and curl. And hollow out your belly as you lean back, opening up the vertebra here. Let's do that again. Nice deep breath in, nice and slow. Feel your spine articulating into extension here. And then as you exhale, take it back and feel the articulation into flexion. Flexing the spine, creating space here. Good, and then slowly bring yourself upright. Now we'll go ahead and take a switch of the shins. So bring the opposite one in front or reseat yourself however you can. Walk those fingertips out, reconnect with your spine. So push into the fingertips, root down through the sit bones. You should feel lightness in your torso as you do this. Find a connection with the earth. Feel the earth energy below you, feel rooted. And then get light on the left fingertips, bring the left arm all the way up and over as you lean to the right, stretching into the left side body here. And into that right elbow as much as is comfortable for you. And feel the left sit bone and hip anchoring down as you lift out of it. Any movement with the head or neck, if you feel some tension there you'd like to let go of, reach nice and long. Good, and then push off the right hand, come on up, sweep the left hand back behind you and cross the right arm over for your twist. Push down through the left finger pads as you lift up, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, press the back of the right hand into your thigh to help with a twist. Feel everything rotating left as you breathe in. Find that length. So the secret to the twist is finding the length in the spine. The exhale helps you go a little bit deeper. Chin parallel to the floor. Look back past your left shoulder. Good. Now lighten up those left fingertips. Bring the left arm overhead. And as you exhale, lean off to the right, out and over your right thigh and knee. And feel where this stretch shows up for you. For me, it's that lower left quadrant of my back. And it is really appreciating this stretch right now. Look up and underneath your left arm if you can. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, come upright and swing your left arm across your chest. Let's hook that right elbow underneath it and pull it close and tight into the body. Big stretch across the front of that left shoulder. Try to stay upright and not collapse into the spine, but breathe into it. This is a goodie. We like this one. One more breath in. And then exhale, release hands to the kneecaps. Let's take another round of cow and cat. Breathe in, lift the heart, draw the sternum up towards the sky. Exhale, round it back. Breathing out all the way. Move with your breath. Inhale. This is a wonderful sequence to kind of sync up breath and movement. On the exhale, take it back. Lean back as far as you can. Let your arms come straight. And let's do one more round. Breathing in as you extend and lift. And then exhale as you take it back, tucking and rounding. Beautiful. Let's release that and come on to hands and knees. So little tabletop position here. Stacking your knees underneath your hips and bringing those wrist creases directly below your shoulders and fanning out your fingers nice and wide. Taking a nice solid base here. I know you can't see my tummy because of my sweater, but you're pulling your navel in towards your spine and you're getting the front and the back body to integrate. We'll go ahead and take the right toes back behind us, curl them and tuck them under, and then press through that right heel, stretching out your calf and your Achilles, beginning to tap into the larger muscles in our legs. Send some breath here. One more deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to go ahead and lift the foot up. Roll the ankle out. You want your heel more or less in line with your sit bone. Keep that nice long line of energy from the crown of your head out through your toes. And then point your toes. And as you breathe in, think cow spine. So lift your heart forward, lift your leg up. Find that nice arc in the spine. And on the exhale, you're going to round in knee to nose, pulling it in, pressing into your hands, and spreading your shoulder blades onto your back. Let's do that again. Inhale as you extend forward into a cow pose. On the exhale, round into cat, bringing knee to nose, pushing the mat away. Starting to open up the spine, the shoulders, and waking up our core. Inhale as you lengthen back. And then exhale as you round and pull it in. Last time, lengthen all the way back. And then bend your knee. We're going to lean to the right and sweep our left hand back to catch our foot. You can stay here just nice and easy, rolling that left shoulder back. Or you can really take it a little more yang and press the foot into the hand. Lift your chest a little bit more and get deep into that quad. Keep squaring the shoulders. Look out past the top of your mat. Nice deep breath in here. And on the exhale, we're going to release the foot and swing it out 90 degrees from your hip. Hold it here for a breath as you flex the toes forward. Feel a little something, something in that right hip. And then release the toes down. Good. Spin the toes forward and rise on up onto your left knee. We're going to lift the right toes and point them towards the top of the mat. Find a more or less an alignment of your heel inside your knee there. And then bring your hands to your hips. Let's bend into that right knee. You'll start to feel a good stretch in the inner groin, both legs here. And then gently straighten, pushing into that right big toe mount. Again, inhale as you dip in, sink in, and then exhale as you straighten. Last time, let's bend in, finding this lunge. Bring your forearm to your thigh and lift the left arm up and overhead. We're going to stay here and breathe. Just getting into the hips here. So we are working within the Vata season in Ayurvedic terms. And Vata is characterized by cold and dryness and wind and air. And for my dear friends up north, you're probably really experiencing that. So to counterbalance that, we need to warm up our body, especially our joints and our bones, which are all part of the Vata category, you know. So anyway, yeah, this is really helpful for you. We'll bring ourselves back and upright, press into that right big toe mount, and slide your right knee in to meet your left. Let's interlace our hands and take them up and overhead. I would recommend tucking the toes just for stability. And as we exhale, we're just going to lean back. So you're going to feel your quads working. You're going to feel your core turn on. Doesn't have to be very deep. Breathe in. Exhale, take it forward. Good. Release the hands down and we'll come into tabletop on the other side. Taking that little warm-up sequence on the left now. So bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, send that left leg back with the toes tucked, and then press through the heel as you lengthen the calf muscles. Feel your Achilles opening up. Maybe that hamstring starts to turn on a little bit. It should feel really good. If pulsing feels like the right thing to do, you are more than welcome to go there. I always encourage you to follow your own body. Listen to what it says. Good, now let's go ahead and lift the toes, point them back behind you and roll out the ankle. Just taking it in both directions. That ankle joint might be really tight, or because you're cold, right? It could feel kind of creaky. So let's get some movement there. And then slowing it down, we'll point the toes and start to arc the spine, finding that cow shape, lifting our heart forward. On the exhale, we're going to round as we bring knee to nose. Push into your hands and press into them as the shoulder blades open on your back. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Draw the heart forward and up. Exhale, round into yourself, feeling yourself curl all the way in. Again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to contract. Pull in, hug in, lift navel to spine. Lengthen for this last time. And then bend the knee. Lean to the left and let your right hand find your foot. So you can take this really gently, or you can amp it up by really kicking the foot into the hand, rolling that right shoulder back, and opening up your chest. Breathe. So nice. Take another deep breath in. And then on the exhale, right hand comes down. We're going to swing that left leg out to the left, 90 degrees. Toes point forward, heel trying to stay in line with the hip. And then go ahead and bring the foot down. Let me spin around so you can see where I'm headed. We'll spin the toes forward, lift yourself up onto that right knee, and then pick the left toes up and turn them away from you. Let's go ahead and bend into that knee. Take a moment to kind of feel what's happening with our hips squared to the long side of the mat. You should feel this as a good hip opener. And then take it back. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. Good, and then inhale, drop in again. Oh yeah. Exhale, take it back. Last time, inhale, we'll drop in, we'll hang out for a little bit. Forearm to thigh, and right arm up and overhead. Now you can take this as deep as you want. Really get it more amped up, more yang if you want, or just kind of hang out gently, right? You don't even need to lean into it. Leaning into it brings a little more pizzazz to the pose. Good. One more breath in. Nice, and on the exhale, we'll come on back, hands to hips. Let's slide the left knee in to meet the right. And one more time with toes tucked. This time we'll extend the arms out in front of us with the thumbs up. Arms parallel to one another. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to take that lean back. So try to keep your body all in one plane. Take it until you feel it. And then inhale, rise up. And then exhale, take it back. So we're really working with our foundation, our legs here. One more time, inhale. And exhale as we take it back. Oh, I feel that. I don't know about you guys. All right, back and up, beautiful. Let's make our way into our first downward facing dog. So hands forward at the shoulders, walk your feet back, lift your hips up, and then let's take whatever movement feels good here. So feel free to pedal out your feet if you would like, shaking your head out, maybe coming up high on the toes, maybe bending the knees. If you're feeling tight hamstrings tonight, by all means, keep the knees bent. In many ways, that helps us to lift our tailbone even higher, and maybe that's where you need to go tonight. All right, try to find something that feels good to your body and work with that. This is such a grounding pose, so think of this pose tonight as a metaphor for grounding and that kind of turning inward that the solstice invites, right? We're upside down. We're kind of in our own little triangle-shaped body, inverted V body shape. And just try to think of it in that way, right? We're turning inward. We're exploring our body from the inside out. We're feeling that sense of grounding through our hands and our feet, really connecting with that earth energy. Let's bring our feet a little bit wider than our hips. We'll rise up high onto our toes. Send both heels off to the right and press your hips to the right, getting a good outer hip stretch here. Breathe into this. You can stay here, or if you want to go a little more yang, lift your right foot up and thread it through over to the left. Maybe roll onto your right hand and lift your left arm up and lift your right foot off the ground, flexing it away from you, coming into a balance shape here. Breathe in. On the exhale, return. We'll come back to downward facing dog. Woo, take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let that go. Good, rising high on the toes, lift up. As you exhale, we'll spin both heels to the left. Press your hips to the left and feel that great side stretch, outer hip stretch. Stay here and enjoy this. Or if you feel like adding a little more fire, lift the left foot, thread it through to the right. Lean onto the left hand and maybe lift that right arm up. Float that right foot off the mat, flex it away from you, pressing through the heel. Wobble and breathe. One more breath in. Good, as we exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. On the exhale, let the knees come down to the mat. Walk your hands forward, melt the chest, puppy pose, Anahatasana. So you want to keep your hips right over your knees. Let the chest melt down. Ground the forehead if you can. This should feel really good. Opening up the shoulders, connecting with the earth. Re-establishing your breath if you need to. Taking one more deep breath in. On the exhale, see if you can just melt everything into the mat. Good, let's slide forward onto our bellies. And then bring your left forearm to cross across the top of the mat. We'll bend the right knee and swing that right hand back. So try to square the hips and the shoulders here. Again, you can take this really deeply, or you can just sort of maybe even just let the knee bend. You don't have to go that deep. But if you do grab the foot and you do decide to pull it towards your outer hip, press the front of your hip into the mat. So you want to feel that you're kind of opening up the psoas and the quad muscle here. Breathing deeply into it. Try to square the shoulders off. Just appreciate where you are here, grounding, opening. Nice, and a very slow release here. Don't slingshot your foot back if you can help it. And we'll switch sides, bringing the right forearm to the top of the mat. Bend your left knee, and you can keep it right here. You'll still get a stretch in the front of that left psoas. Or if you can, reach back, grab the foot, and then see how close you can bring it towards your sit bone or outer hip. If you have this position, notice how you're also getting a really nice stretch in the front of your shoulders. Breathing, melting the front of your hip flexor into the mat, softening your quadricep. Really feel as if you could spread those big muscles open. Good, one more breath in. And then exhale to slowly release. Let's bring the hands alongside of us, tuck the toes and press back into a child's pose, bringing your hips to your heels, grounding the forehead once more. Breathe into your low back, such a beautiful counter pose to that little back bend that we just did. Also a beautiful metaphor for solstice as we turn inward, appreciating the darkness and all the qualities that the darkness has to offer us, right? There's so many beautiful things that we can explore in the dark. Good, and then re-energizing ourselves, let's pull ourselves up and back into our downward facing dog. Let the heels melt towards the mat as you press forward and down into your hands. Find your arm bones alongside of your ears, press the tailbone high, pull the navel in. And then bend the knees, look forward, and take your time to come to the top of your mat, arriving in Uttanasana, ragdoll pose, forward fold. So any variation here you would like to do, if your neck needs some release, maybe interlace your hands behind your head, draw those elbows in close and let the neck open up as you draw the crown of the head down. You could grab opposite arms and just take a nice gentle sway from side to side. If you listen to your body, it'll tell you what it needs. Just feed into that and feel your entire backside starting to open up. There's this beautiful sense of letting go as you surrender the crown of the head down, as your upper body gets nice and relaxed, and as the back of your legs start to open up. Beautiful. Let's release the hands down. Halfway lift here. Fingertips to the floor, to the shin, or even to a block if you would prefer. Lifting the chest forward, taking your gaze past the top of your mat, engaging your belly button and getting your spine nice and straight here. Ground down through the feet. Take another breath in, bring your hands to your hips, and on the exhale, press down into the hips to rise up with a flat back all the way to stand. Nice. Coming to the top of your mat, bringing your feet underneath you. Let's find Tadasana, mountain pose. Turning the palms forward, rolling the shoulders back. Taking a moment with eyes closed to just ground. Coming back to that sense of balance and equilibrium. Feeling rooted. At the same time, feeling the crown of the head rising. Those polarities of light and dark, and yin and yang, effort and ease always in play during our practice. Good, we'll ease the eyes open and let's go a little bit more into the hips as we flow. So take a deep breath in and let your arms reach up and overhead. On the exhale, pull your navel to your spine and with a flat back, float yourself down. Halfway lift, fingertips to shins or to the floor or to a block. And on the exhale, that left leg is going to come all the way back and you're going to press through the heel and straighten the leg. Find a lunge here. Stack your right knee over your right ankle, draw your sternum forward, and let the front of your left hip start to open up. Feel for that right sit bone and hip and draw it back behind you, actively pulling it back. Good, let's take a deep breath in, look forward, and on the exhale, press the hips back as you straighten the front leg. Deep hamstring stretch here, so go slow if you need to. Bow in as you fold over your front thigh. Maybe as you begin to open up and warm up, you feel like you can lift your right toes off the mat. Breathing into this, pull your right hip crease back. And one more time, let's inhale, come back into your lunge, pull the heart forward. And then one more time, exhale as you press it back. Take a couple of breaths here, really connecting to the pose. Breathing into the sensations that you're feeling and creating. Good, and then rock back, bend into the knee and drop the left knee back behind you. Take your arms up and overhead. Let's steeple the fingertips here. So point the index fingers up towards the sky and then just trace the ceiling with them as you come into a gentle back bend, any amount. Right? Try not to put too much stress on the low back. You want to lift out of it and hug your front heel and your back knee in towards one another to create some of that lift. Beautiful. One more big breath in. On the exhale, let's lean forward at a diagonal. So you're going to bring your chest over your thighs. Keep pointing the fingers away from you. And then come into a twist. Hook that left elbow outside of your right thigh. Change up your grip with your hands. Maybe press palms together. Maybe make a fist with the left hand. Wrap the right over the top. And just turn your chest towards your thumb. If you'd like to add fire here, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. This will definitely amp up that quality, bringing a little more yang into it. Breathe here with steadiness, with fullness, right? Be in your body, pulling that right hip back. Lift your chest off your thigh as best you can. Good. One more breath in. Good job, guys. Exhale, hands come inside your right foot. Spin your left heel all the way down and walk your torso out about 45 degrees. Walk the hands away from you. Pull your sternum forward as you press your hips back. So you're lengthening out your torso. You're sinking into your hips. Thinking down dog with your upper body. And like a warrior two position or lunge position with your lower body. Big, big stretch for the hips here. Lengthen your heart. Keep lengthening it away from your hips. Keep pressing your hips back. Awesome. Slowly walk the hands in. Turn back towards the top of the mat and heel toe your right foot off to the right as you drop your left knee down. We're going to come into lizard. So continuing to work on the hips here. Up to you how deep you'd like to go here. You're welcome to roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. You're welcome to come down to a block or maybe forearms right to the mat. You could take a lean off to the left side and bring your right hand to that inner right thigh and press it away. Right, you know where you want to go here. And maybe the body might take a little time to open up. So just be generous. Be in compassion, practicing your ahimsa. I will say this is quite a bit of sensation for me tonight. So if you're there with me, don't feel like you have to force anything, right? We can't. We can't force our bodies to open. We need to be patient, breathe deeply, put a smile on our faces, and just appreciate where we are. Good. See if you can get a little bit deeper into it, whatever that means for you. Maybe it's just closing your eyes and going deeper into your experience. For me, that really adds a lot to the pose. So just find a place that works for you. We are not in a rush here. Connect to your breath. Let that be what connects you to the pose. Again, we were asking the mind to kind of loosen its grip on thoughts and instead drop down and into the heart. Really exploring our practice from that inner space. All right, let's slowly come out of it. So walk your hands underneath you as you lift your chest. Let's step back to downward facing dog. So bring that right foot back to the left, press the hips high. Take a deep breath in here and let it go with a sigh. Just take a moment to feel what you feel. If your body needs a little movement, if you need to bend one knee and then the other, please feel free to go there. Big, big, big hip opener we just did. All right, let's lift that left leg up, reach it behind you, and then step it up towards your left thumb. We're coming into our lunge on this side. So same sequence, other side. Really press through your right heel as you straighten your right leg and draw your heart forward. Coming up onto fingertips, or this is also a nice place to use blocks, under the hands if you need them. It just keeps you upright a little bit more. Feel the front of your right hip flexor beginning to open up. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, let's press it back, shifting the hips back as we fold over our front thigh. Try to keep your left big toe mound grounded to start. And just pull that left hip back. Maybe you feel a little wobbly here, or you feel some shaking if the hamstrings are tight. That's okay, right? We're working to open them up. Let's breathe in and rebend the knee. Maybe you can drop a little bit deeper, pressing back through that right heel as you lift your heart. And then on the exhale, one more time as we draw back. Maybe this time you lift the toes. Peeling the toes back towards your left shin. Keep lengthening your torso over your thigh. Breathe into this side. Just notice how different it's gonna feel. All right, let's go ahead and rebend into the knee and drop that right knee back behind you. Bring the arms up and overhead. Find that interlace and your steeple grip. If you can, thread your hands the opposite way. It feels really weird. But if you can, do that. And let's just trace the ceiling with our fingertips. Lifting out of our hips as we take our back bend. Sinking into the hips, but kind of isometrically drag your front heel and your back knee together to bring that lift of your pelvic floor. Good, and then lean out and over like an arrow, reaching diagonally out of the hips. And then bring that right elbow to cross over your left thigh. Take your heart or your prayer grip, if you'd like, and twist your torso to the left. Option to amp up the fire by lifting your back knee. Keep drawing your heart towards your thumbs. Maybe stack your elbows here. Rotate your chest and keep your chest lifted off of your thigh. Belly and chest away from the thigh. Good. Ground through your feet. Appreciate your body's strength. And then release, hands down inside the left foot. We're going to spin the right heel all the way down to the mat and walk out at a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands in line with your shoulders, stretch your heart forward, and then push into your finger pads as you sink your hips back. Anchor down through both legs, bent in the left knee, strong and straight in the right leg, pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. Melt your chest a little bit further down. Feel that big, big stretch. Beautiful. One more breath in. And as we exhale, we'll walk back towards the top of the mat. Pivot, bring the right knee down and heel toe the left foot over to the left side, setting you up for lizard here. Now this is a different side, so you're welcome to take a different variation. Upright is nice. You're still gonna feel a lot right here. Rolling on to the left foot, the edge of the left foot is nice. Maybe using blocks or coming down onto the forearms to go a little bit deeper. Also, option to lean into your right hand, press the left hand into the thigh and turn your chest open to the left. So whatever level of yang you'd like to bring in, or yin, right? That's the beauty of the practice. We get to express ourselves with both effort and ease. And we get to choose what's right for our body. If this side is maybe a little more open, perhaps you can explore going a little deeper. Nice. Let's take one more delicious breath in. And then on the exhale, we'll go ahead and unwind ourselves. Let's press back, downward facing dog. Left foot joins the right, pushing the hips high. Take a deep and full breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Shaking out your head. Good, let's take our feet wide here. Turn the toes out, the heels in. Walk it back. You know where we're headed. My favorite hip opener of all time, Malasana Yogi Squat. Bend the knees and let your tailbone drop down between your heels. Use your elbows to press your inner knees and thighs open. Hands in prayer. lifting your heart up, dropping the tailbone down. Again, use as much effort as you would like here. This is sort of, you know, one of those poses that could be almost relaxing, but maybe not. So it's, you know, it kind of bridges the two. You are welcome to put a block underneath your seat if that's where you need to go tonight too. That can be very helpful. Good, just breathe into this. Enjoy the stretch. Good. Keep your palms pressing together. Lift up the tailbone, push into your feet, and come to stand. Rising all the way up, arms up and overhead, stretch it out. Lean back just a little bit. And then on the exhale, let's bring our hands to our heart center. Good, we'll come to the top of the mat. We'll take a little balance here. So we're going to ground in our right leg and come into one-legged mountain as you lift your left knee up and bring your arms overhead. This is a great pose. You're practicing balance, you're working the shoulders, right? You're feeling your quad turned on, you're feeling your core engaged. Tonight we'll pay homage to one of the reindeer on Santa's sleigh, Dancer. And we're going to swing that left heel back behind us towards our bum. Reach the left hand back to catch the inside of your foot. Ooh. Wiggle wobble if you need to. Root down, pressing through that right leg. Draw the left knee in line with the right. Keep that right arm lifted. Now start the balance of pressing the foot into the hand and the leaning forward. So it's kind of like counter actions to bring ourselves into the pose. Lifting that left foot up, back behind you. Looking forward, reaching out through the right fingertips. Perfect, it's so good to see your yoga teacher fall. Just find your way back into the pose. Keep a steady breath and a humorous attitude. One more breath in. And on the exhale, let's release. Good. Shake that out. I don't know, Rudolph was everybody's favorite reindeer, but we're paying homage to Dancer tonight. Okay, find your feet. This time the left leg is the standing leg. We're gonna press into it and come into our one-legged mountain on this side. So that right knee lifts in line with the hip. You're flexing the foot, relaxing your shoulders down your back. Beautiful. As you're ready, you're going to swing that right heel back behind you, and your right hand is going to reach for the inside of your foot. Bring your knees in line with one another. Get tall and rooted before you take it to the next step. And maybe this is where you land. You know, this is good to practice right here. To go forward, you're going to lean forward and kick back at the same time. So pressing your foot into your hand, reaching out past your left fingertips. You're wrapping your right shoulder back. Maybe you're lifting your toes up behind your head. Good. Use your core, use your breath, use your focus. Whoa, one more big breath in. And then exhale to release. Nice work, everybody. Shake that out, let it go. And then you're going to take a wide step on your mat. So turn to the long side. We'll pigeon toe the feet. Bring your hands to your hips and take a deep breath in. Let's lift the chest, wrap the shoulders back, gaze up. On the exhale from the hips, you're going to fold all the way forward and down. Reach for your ankles, or maybe your big toes, or maybe stretch your fingertips all the way out in front of you. Find a variation that speaks to you here as we open up into Pattatanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Another nice way to kind of get into our hips and our hamstrings. Lengthen your spine as you drop the crown of the head down. And then we'll walk our hands over to the right side. Reach for your right ankle or shin with your left hand and extend your right arm all the way forward. Come up onto the right fingertips. And now turn your chest and your gaze up and underneath your right armpit. Root down evenly through your feet. Really feel that yummy sensation of a twist, a shoulder opener, a nice release for the spine. Take a full breath in, rotate, rotate, rotate. And on the exhale, release. Take an easy walk over to the other side. Right hand reaches for the left shin or ankle. The left arm stretches straight out, coming up onto those left fingertips. Grab onto the ankle and start to turn your chest and your gaze up and underneath that left arm. Breathe as you rotate the rib cage around. Feel that bringing out quality in the spine. Feel that good stretch in the shoulders. Activate your legs by pressing into the feet. One more breath in. And exhale to release. Walk the hands over to your right foot. Pivot and walk the right foot over to the left, setting up for Pigeon Pose on this side. So your right knee is going to ground behind your right wrist. Pick up your left toes and knee and walk your leg back behind you. You really want to stretch out that left leg long behind you. You may need to prop up on your right sit bone, grab a blanket or a block if that's the case, and then lift your chest, get long here, square your hips, and as you feel comfortable, release down and into the pose. So here we go a little bit more yin in the practice, kind of coming inward, practicing that shift of energy and awareness, more inward here. Finding our steady breath and leaning into it, grounding deeply. Notice what's happening in your right outer hip. See if you can kind of relax into it. If that means relaxing your mind, begin with your mind and your body will follow. Deep, steady breaths do a lot to get us into that softer place in the pose. Try to release any gripping here. Full and steady breaths. There's an opportunity to let something go, right? Whatever's been bugging you, whatever thing you think you have to do, right? Whatever event you don't want to go to, whatever it may be, just put that aside for right now. Let it go, right? And just be right in your body, present moment. There's so much to be said for that. As yogis, we know it to be true. All right. This is a double hip opening session, back to back. So slowly begin to pull yourself up, lifting up. We're going to go ahead and sit on our right sit bone. And we're going to swing, I'll turn to the front, swing the left shin around. Let's cradle it and rock the baby. So go ahead and bend your right elbow. Place the sole of the foot in the elbow crease and see if you can just cradle your shin. If this isn't possible, just go ahead and grab the ankle and kind of work the hip open a little bit more this way, rocking it back and forth. Or sitting upright. If you have the rock the baby pose, sit upright, right? Bring your chest up. Just take a few little back and forth here to oil up that joint. Good. All right. 5 fire log pose. So we stack the shins, right, left ankle to right knee and left knee to right ankle. So do your best to sit evenly on your sit bones. There could be a gap between your knee and your ankle. That's totally okay, and it's to be expected. Just try to find that stacking quality of the shins and sit upright, or if you want to kick it up, go ahead and walk the fingertips forward. So you can make this more yang or more yin. It's actually a pose that, again, kind of like wherever we were, where it sort of feels like Malasana. You know, you can get into the relaxation part of it, but it's also pretty fiery. So, you know, just appreciate that polarity, the balance here, and find what works for you. Close the eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Working that left outer hip now, switching the focus to the left side. Just notice how the exhales really help the body to kind of drop into the pose and soften up a little bit. Good. All right, let's ease the eyes open and bring ourselves upright. Woo. Unwind the legs. Let's take a little windshield wiper, or simply take the legs straight and give them a good shake, or a little windshield wiper might feel good too. And then we're going to take it off to the left side. So that left shin will come to the top of the mat, and you're going to walk your right leg back. Pigeon on the other side. So try to walk the knee and the right foot back as much as possible. Set your left shin as parallel to the top of the mat as you can. Stretch the front of your right hip open. And as you feel ready and grounded, go ahead and lower on down for a few deep breaths here. Pigeon pose on the other side. Let your head go, relax your shoulders and your neck. Try not to let your left sit bone drop, but keep it in line with the right. See if you can melt the front of your right hip towards the floor a little bit more. And just let your breath take over. This side may feel more accessible or more challenging. Whatever it is, address it with your breath. No judgment here. It just is what it is. Some days we feel more open than others. So important that we practice like this during this time when there's so much busyness, right? Dropping in helps with that kind of mania. We can balance it out. All right, one more breath in. As you exhale, let's begin to make our way up. We'll lean off to the left, and you're gonna swing that right shin around and maybe cradle it on this side. So it could just be simply grabbing the shin and rocking the knee forward and back, or maybe you get that cradle by hooking the elbows around and you go a little bit deeper into rock the baby, keeping your chest lifted. Ooh, I feel it on this side. Definitely feel it on this side. All right, fire log pose. Perfect for the solstice. Yes, there was a method to my madness, a reason for this pose. Okay, we are going to stack our shins. So again, there could be a good sizable gap between your bottom foot and your knee, and that's totally okay. You could use a block to support there if that feels good, right? It could actually help you go deeper into the pose. But wherever you are, keep your feet flexed, ground evenly through your sit bones, and just find your way into it. Maybe a little leaning forward, Maybe upright is just where you need to be tonight. Close your eyes and just allow yourself to drop into all the feels. Feel the feels here. Your body's talking to you, that's for sure. Be open to the conversation. Be compassionate. No negative thoughts. That's not yogi talk, right? We don't talk that way in yoga. We encourage our bodies. We're open to where they are. We appreciate what they can do. And we just practice. Each day brings us something different. All right, good stuff, guys. Let's slowly lean back. Unwind your legs. Take your hands back behind you. Fingertips pointing towards your sit bones, and let's take a reverse plank just to feel the expansion and the opening up in the front of the hips. Lean back. Press your shoulder blades onto your back. Point your toes towards the end of your mat. Lift your heart and roll the shoulders open. And come all the way down. Oh, lower onto your back. Bring a block with you. We're going to go right into Waterfall Pose. This is such a nice release, especially for this time of year. Walk your feet in and lift the hips up and place the block underneath your sacrum. Place your palms down onto the mat and then slowly begin to lift your legs straight up. If you feel like you're going to teeter-totter on the block, you may need to readjust it, but you want to bring your legs to a 90-degree angle with your feet, maybe somewhere between pointed and flex. Just relax your feet here. Feel the weight transferring to your shoulders. Let this beautiful sensation of the reversing of circulation start to be present. You'll feel this wonderful redirection of all of that energy towards the heart. Your heart appreciates this. It usually has to work so hard in that upright position, and this is just a real gift. If you haven't already closed your eyes, please do so. And try to relax your shoulders. Maybe they need to spread a little bit further away. And just notice how this beautiful lightness of feeling in the legs starts to show up. Right? We can feel that circulation just flowing down to our heart space. This is a really nice way to kind of clear out our lymph nodes as well, keep them very healthy, especially this time of year. And this is just a great pose to practice whenever you need to kind of come back. Very grounding, promotes a deep sense of relaxation by kind of triggering the central nervous system, letting it know that everything is okay. You know, maybe if you're at that holiday party and you need to slip out and go practice legs up the wall or waterfall, why not? It could bring you just the equilibrium you need, who knows? Take your whole yogi tool bag or bag of tricks with you through the holidays. Good, you can stay here, or if you would like to release and take a moment in Shavasana, you are more than welcome to do that. Whatever feels good to you. Customize it for your body tonight. Maybe the legs extend long and you take your arms overhead. Just giving yourself a moment in peace and quiet. Setting yourself up for a beautiful holiday weekend. Bringing your thoughts to joy and compassion and, you know, staying in that place of love. Good, let's invite our knees into our chest. Give yourself a good squeeze here. A little rock from side to side, just massaging out your low back. Maybe the knees draw around in a little circle. And then either rolling yourself all the way up or taking yourself off to one side. Just pause for a moment. And then slowly bring yourself back up to your seat. Closing where we began, in our seated position. We'll join our hands together in front of our hearts, closing the eyes, just feeling ourselves balanced, feeling our moon and our sun balanced, our yin and our yang, creating that place of equilibrium within us. Let's bring our thumbs to our third eye center and just focus on that light that's within us all. Let your light shine today and throughout the holidays. Be the brightest light in the room. Bowing to one another. Namaste. Thank you all so much for showing up. I hope this practice served you well, and I hope your holidays are beautiful and full. I will see you again before the New Year is over.